Let's say one day on the way to work, you encounter a magical wizard who tries to sell you some magic soup. Drink this and you shall receive eternal knowledge, he says, but this is NYC and so you brush him away without much of a thought. You turn back as you hear him mumbling and the next thing you know, you shrink endlessly into the microscopic world of cells. Now, what would you see on such a harrowing journey? Well, assuming you'd survive the fall, you'd bump right into the membrane of the cell. What is the membrane? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the gates that allow certain substances to pass in and out. Hey, everything has a boundary, right? Every border separates a country, your skin separates your insides from your outsides, the walls separate humanity from titans. Anyways, they are made out of these things called lipids, specifically phospholipids, and they go in both directions. The water-loving part faces outwards and the water-hating part faces inwards. But how do you go through? Well, you see those pores right through the membrane? Those are proteins that allow the molecules to enter the membrane. Quick, hop onto one of those substances and go in. Hey, are you alright? That was close. You look like you're suffocating. Quick, grab some of this swimming gear I shrank for you. Right now you're swimming inside the chemical-filled juice of the cell, the protoplasm. You can think of it like a soup, but except gross and jelly-like instead. There are chemical reactions here that break down glucose into smaller molecules, and it generates just a small amount of energy. Whoa, look at those long things. These are the support structures of the cell. They kinda allow the cell to move. You know how whenever you want to move your muscles contract? Yeah, same here. There are filaments that allow the cell to move, like how your white blood cell might want to when fighting a microbe. It would suck if your white blood cell couldn't protect you at all. You can think of them as bones, but except they're not static, they're dynamic. Oh hey, what's that other long thing? Oh hey, it's just discount DNA, RNA. Well, these things float around the protoplasm out from the nucleus and carry the codes to synthesize proteins that can function in your body. They are quite important, by the way. Look at those tiny branches. Those are the subunits of the RNA. They can be either adenine, guanine, cytosine, or uracil. They're attached to these things called ribosomes, which basically turns these into codes, which are separated into three per group, into amino acids that can make up a functioning protein. It's like Lego, except much cheaper and more important. But hey, what exactly are these things that build RNA? Is it some kind of magic factory? Well, yes and no. They are actually RNA and proteins as well. Kinda paradoxical, eh? Imagine yourself building another version of you. It's kind of one of those weird things in biology where recursion happens. But ribosomes are important because without them you wouldn't have proteins. And without proteins, you wouldn't be able to do most of the chemical reactions your body needs for homeostasis. And without proteins, you wouldn't be able to look like nowadays. But hey, all things come to an end, right? This right here is a tubular meat grinder, and it's basically what proteins go off to die. It's called a proteasome. They just kind of grind the proteins into tiny chunks and just eject them back to the protoplasm. Pretty morbid. Anyways, you see those things right there? Yeah, they only stay in the cell and they don't go out like ever. They are afraid of society. These are organelles and they are essentially the organs of the cell. Oh hey, that one's a famous one. It's the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. Everyone knows that they essentially produce the most energy in the cell, and the energy in the cell is ATP. What is ATP? Well, it's just like the cell's money, because nothing in life is ever free, even for your cells. They basically are involved in the process of aerobic respiration, that is the generation of energy in the presence of oxygen. We've already seen a similar process when we first entered the cytoplasm, but here in the mitochondria, more ATP is made. Pretty neat stuff overall. But hey, these organelles might actually just be a type of microbe that was just engulfed by larger cells. But they just kinda sorted it out and lived together in peace. It's called endosymbiosis, where the engulfed cell just kinda sits around and works with the other cell that just ate it. More interestingly, mitochondria have their own genes that are similar to bacteria, which is weird. Uh-oh, that looks like a maze. What is that? Oh, look, those are the ribosomes we saw earlier. Hey, everything really is coming together. The endoplasmic reticulum is where proteins are actually synthesized. Yeah, that's right. That's the place where ribosomes turn the codons from RNA to amino acids to make proteins. Oh hey, you wonder why the proteins know where to go? It turns out they already have a predetermined path. Whoa, now here's the Golgi apparatus. Essentially, it packages the proteins to be sent out of the cell. It's like Amazon but for cells. So each protein will always be sent from the ER to the Golgi so that it can be sent to wherever else it needs to be. I think that's our last structure over there. That, my friend, is the nucleus, where all genetic material is stored in the cell. It's where DNA is. It's basically a double-stranded molecule, and it has the same basis with RNA except we just swap out uracil with thymine. The DNA is stored and wrapped around histones, which can be further wrapped to form chromosomes. The nucleus too is separated by a membrane, but allows some proteins to enter to turn genes on and off. This is important because it gives the cell an identity, or what it can be. Can't have an unknown cell trespassing along your body now, can it? Hey, it looks like you've returned back to normal, which is great. So the next time, you know why you shouldn't be out there being rude to weird wizards in CD hats. Hey guys, thanks for watching through till the end. I really appreciate it and I hope you subscribe. If you would like to know more on the cell, I recommend picking up the Song of the Cell. It's where the information for this video came from. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.